So welcome everyone to this month's edition of Tales from the CTO. I'm your host, Jamie McMahon, and I'm the CTO here at ProServeIT. And today we'll be talking about brand experience and specifically the internal view or the internal iteration of brand experience as realized by employees, typically called employee experience. And the reason we're here to talk about this is obviously the impact that our employees can have on the experiences that our customers perceive and the value that we deliver, and in so many different ways. So thinking through, what do we need to think about as it relates to brand experience, or more specifically, the employee component of brand experience. And we think about this as kind of like a symbiotic relationship between the customer experience and the employee experience, and that we have decisions that we can make as it relates to technology to tie our employees together that says, how can we make investments relative to technology that helps us to keep our existing employees, that helps us to get new employees and attract new employees, and how can we grow our existing employees as well, perhaps most importantly. And to put this into an example, when we think about investments relative to a website, something that quite often has a marketing component to it, and people typically think about it as a business development initiative. But if we're thinking about it through this lens, we're also thinking about it as a potential way to attract talent and attract the right talent to our companies. And if there are a way for us to describe and digitize our culture and show potential candidates what working at your organization may look like, that might be the tipping point for them joining your team and really building up the best team of workers that we can. So we're thinking about how do we get started. What we want to do is think, how can we intentionally create intersections with our employees? How can we create technology intersections? As everything shifted to remote and as everything continues to work in some form of, either full remote or hybrid remote, there's something that's a gap, so to speak, in the employee experience, in the sense where they have an absence of community, they have an absence of culture as it relates to your business. And we want to figure out how can we create as many intersections for those employees so that they truly understand, what is it like? What does it mean working with you? How can we create an atmosphere of, let's say, work hard, play hard, so to speak, if that's the culture that we're trying to drive? And if we're going to do that, are there tools that we can invest in that actually help us to digitize that culture, that can show new candidates very quickly, this is what it means to work for us. This is the community that we've built, and this is how we support each other. And this is how we share knowledge, and this is how we bring you along for the ride and help you in your career, and how we all help each other to grow. And we really want to make sure that we have those tools, that we have that mindset, because really what that's going to lead to is that growth mindset. So when we talk about this, there's many people that have done lots of articles and studies and written books tied to a growth mindset, and I think they're all valid and appropriate. My only component would be, how can we augment that thought process? How can we augment that with technology choices? Are there tools that we can select that are going to create and nurture that sense of an employee growth mindset? And what can we do? What would that look like for our business? So to help frame that, we use this and we put this into a model, almost like a table. And we've got 6 cells here, one outlining customer experience and one outlining employee experience, which in aggregate to us represents brand experience. And if we were to say, what's the most important cell, or what's the most important component of these 6 items, if we're going to make a technology investment, where should we spend that money in order to achieve the greatest return? And how do we set our organization up for the future in the best way? And for us, it's really clearly that we feel investing in employee growth is the most important investment. And the reason it's so important is investing in employee growth basically creates the self-fulfilling prophecy of achieving all of those other objectives. So if we invest in our employees, we know they will help us to attract new employees. They're going to be our best recruiters. If we invest in our employees and help them grow, we know that they will stay because they're going to want to continue to grow with us. And so, we won't have as much turnover. If we invest in our employees, we know that they're going to help us to keep our existing customers. We know that they're going to help us to grow our existing customers, and we know they're going to help us to create an environment where our customers become advocates. They become very engaged and can create a referral mindset amongst our customers and help us to attract and grow that base. And so all of that from investing in employees really helps us solidify, what does it mean to invest in brand experience? So for us, if we're thinking about it, it's, making those decisions to digitize your culture, to foster and create that sense of community, to purchase tools and to deploy them in such a way that we can help, create a sense of growth mindset amongst our employees so that we can achieve all of the outcomes that we're trying to achieve. So with that, I want to say thank you for listening to this month's edition of Tales from the CTO. If you have any questions, I'd love for you to reach out to us. We'd love to have a conversation. And if you would like to, I'd invite you to join one of our monthly IT roadmaps that occurs where we run through a little workshop about what it would look like to build an actual end-to-end roadmap for your business and how that can help your business grow and become successful. And you can find the invitation for that in this email. And with that, I will thank you for your time and enjoy the rest of your day.